Siya po ay top 1 billionaire dito sa bansang Pilipinas ng taong 2019. Pinanganak po siya noong December 25, 1924. Siya po ay isang year of the rat. Ang net worth po niya ay 19 billion US dollar ng taong 2019. Siya lang naman po ang founder ng SM Investment Corporation. Siya po ay si Henry C. Sr. at ito po ang kanyang success principle sa buhay.
In life and business, you need to be good-hearted and trustworthy. This is the way to make long-term relationship. You have to have a dream, whether big or small. Then plan it well. Prepare your funds, work hard, and be very determined to achieve your goal. It's a mega mall, but even SMEga mall is no longer big enough, so I have to create something even better. It sounds easy, but these projects require good concept, planning, time, hard work, discipline, and attention to details. I'm a hands-on and personalize my management style. I do not think on impulse. I think long and hard for every project. Why I'm not big in words, I'm big in both in my dreams and vision. My nature, I'm curious and adventurous. I like excitement and change. And now, a better ideas, a new and better ideas. I talk for excellence and performance. My basic strategy is to stick to my core business. Another important thing is balance in life. When you succeed, do not change your lifestyle. Equally important, keep your feet on the ground. As I move on in life and work on dreams, I realize something. There's no limit to what we can do. God is good and generous. He gives gifts to us. He gives us many opportunities and equal time every day. It is for us to make full use of them.
When we left college, we were expected to continue working in the family business full-time. And during those time, my dad, who was demanding, was always driving us to work hard and to do our best. While we were not expected to do our best in school, once out of school and into the real world, we were taught to aspire to be the best in any endeavor we're actively involved in. We have to think creatively, stay disciplined, and be productive. We need creativity to find opportunities or develop concepts. We need discipline to make sure to see the implementation through and practice good governance. We need to produce enough to go for volume or to expand. It took us a long time to understand why my dad drives and his teaching. We learned a lot amidst all the arguments, hard feelings, and complaints. We couldn't understand why our lives and our discussions are all about business. When we think we did something right and expected his congratulation, he would always say, "Not bad," and thought that we could do better.
In the speech earlier, it's basically I'm guided by my father. And what we have been looking for are really basic values. Values towards life, values towards work. I mean, a lot of people try to be so sophisticated and things like that, but to me, I mean, I've encountered some millennials who come to me and said, and I saw potentials in them. We really like to give chance to all the young ones. But there are those who are, I think they're living in their own world. They would come to me and said, "Sir, I like my job, but I have to go." Then I would ask, why? You just barely started, sir. I'm not making an impact to the company. But I said, what do you expect to make in 6 months' time? So I just believe that Patience is one of those basic values that I really like to see with the young ones. Resourcefulness is also one of those that I like to see, because in daily challenge you will be meeting up to different, in daily lives or work, you'll be meeting up to different challenges. So you should be resourceful to really look for the solution. It's just basic requirements. Maybe to summarize it, it's the heart, whether you are really passionate about your job. That's the one we're looking for. Okay, I think it's going to be two parts. One is the professionals, the other one is family. Let me start with the professionals. I, for one, have been very supportive about this, developing succession, doing succession planning, which entails up to the annual review of your organization. Because as we expand, we needed to really expand also our organization. And as far as all our executives are concerned, in fact, very recently we just introduced the so-called 60, you're retired. But it doesn't mean we don't want you anymore, but it means you have 5 years to develop somebody to take over your position. We will review you again after 3 years, and then when we see that you have developed somebody, the next 2 years, we will just be sitting back observing the guys that you have developed. That's the kind of succession planning we have already in place in our organization. Now, for the family, well, that's a tough question. Well, for the second generations, I have to say, we were never given a choice. Whether we like it or not, you are part of the company. We were required to start working on weekends at the age of 13. The third generation now had it much better, because the second generation all got together. We came up with our family constitution. So the first thing that we decide on the third generation is it's their choice. They have given only 2 choices. One is to be owners, and you'll have nothing to do with the company. And the other one is to really show that you really deserve the position. You will have to grow into it. So we have already, the third generation, some are already pursuing on their own, some are already in the company. But for my personal approach on my own children, I am a bit tougher. Not that I don't give them choice, but you see, I have had also a son who, after graduation, I required them to work for somebody else. Commit the mistakes somewhere else first. and then after 3 years, if they really want to join, they come in. But even having said that, I also observed that they also have certain problems when it comes to really running it like an entrepreneur. So I tried to understand it, and I realized I would always compare myself to them. I would say, why was it so much easier for me and very different now? So what I learned is, because when I was still studying, I did put up my little own business. It's a small food business that I've done, and started with a 10,000 pesos capital, borrowed a little from left and right, and now have ended up now with 30 plus branches. Although I've given those responsibilities to my wife because of my responsibilities in our company, I wouldn't have much time for it anymore. But talking about that, it made me learn the whole entrepreneurship, or understand the business holistically. So then I required now my other children that first, you go and work for somebody else, commit the mistake. Second, you do your own little business. But what I'm seeing also, some of them are basically successful. They learn all their tricks, being able to talk to creditors, being able to talk to government officials to understand the business which you don't learn in school. But the risk I am now running is there are those who are a bit more successful than I wanted them to be. So I'm not really sure if they will ever come back and join us. But nevertheless, that's the kind of choice we have for our family members. Not only to my children, but to all my other nieces and nephews. Everybody have more choice now.
All this Taipan, all these successful individuals, to me, there are two things in common among them. The common denominator among these people: working hard and trustworthy. You should work hard and you should be trusted. There is no substitute for that if you want to be successful. Strict? Yes, you got to be strict in order to discipline the people, to discipline also in order to meet your objective. At that time, when the bank was only a savings bank, down there in Quiapo, he was already telling me, watch me, I'll be the biggest bank. And I asked him, how? He said, I will not do it myself. I will buy other smaller banks. That's what he did.
Yes.
By acquisition, and then managing it properly, you grow faster.
Yes.
Yeah. Then I said, how can you accomplish that in your lifetime? To be number one in the bank, number one in property, and number one retail. You say, I will start this, and my kids will carry it on. I always tell him, Mr. C, you are lucky. You are lucky not only in business, but you are lucky that you have disciplined your 6 children to be another 6 Mr. C. Devoted to the work, just like their father. Mr. C is a very caring father. He always makes sure that on weekends, every weekend, that he see his kids once a week. So, and I think right now, the 6 children have their own right in managing the various aspects of the group.
One of the learnings that I have, of course, apart from hard work, perseverance, being focused on the things that we need to do, what stand out for me was also self-determination, the value of self-determination, because in a way, as a person, you have to have some vision and what you want to be in the future, and control for your own being first, right? Because if you're able to determine that, then the career self-determination will come in. And indirectly, that is what I learned from him, because hard work cannot ensure success, right? You have to work smart, and you have to know what you want to achieve, not just for the company, but also for yourself.
He always tells us to work hard and be determined, be persistent, and be very focused.
I think about 25 years ago, that was, he was worried our country, where the country is going, and how the country is compared to our neighboring countries, that we are falling behind. And to him, he said, it's the youth of our country who can change the Philippines. And so he said we should advocate education, improve the education of our young people. Education, he see that youth is the savior of our country, and education is a must. And for the needy, he see in his beginning time where poor people are all over, where hardship is all over. So he recognized this needs in our society. It is not how much you earn that matters, but it is how you are being conceived, being looked upon by your fellow man that is important for Mr. C.
Maraming salamat po sa panonood ng aking video. At kung nagustuhan niyo po ang aking video, huwag niyo po kalimutan mag-like, mag-comment, at mag-subscribe sa aking YouTube channel. At i-click niyo po yung bell button para lagi po kayo updated sa iba ko pang gagawing mga video. Salamat po.